welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, a very, very warm welcome to you. My name's Emily and I am a knitter, crocheter and very occasional sewer. Today's episode is my weekly podcast, so I'll be covering any updates, any finished objects, any works in progress that I've worked on in the last week or so, any cast-ons and any acquisitions. Before we get stuck in though, how are you all today? I hope that you've been having a really, really lovely week, and I hope that you've got some lovely plans for your weekend. How am I? I am good. I am very good. I'm quite excited because I'm filming this video well in advance of when you're seeing it. This is actually Sunday the 11th of May. As I'm sure most of you are aware, I'm actually away this week. I've been away this week. I will be back by now. I'll be home, but I'll have had an absolutely wonderful week, I am sure, because it's just going to be amazing. I'm going to be chilling with my family, celebrating my wonderful mum and her wonderful birthday. It's very exciting. I think I've got everything prepared, so I need to pack today and just make sure that I have everything that we need for the week. And yeah, it's just going to be the best. Very excited for it. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but this guy has appeared. I've had to kind of try and frame as best I can because I'm sitting quite a fair distance from the backdrop because, as I say, this guy's appeared. I walked into the bedroom yesterday and this is a Monstera and it usually lives in the bedroom, and it was getting quite tall and quite front heavy. I walked past it, and whether I brushed against it or just the wind of me passing knocked it over and it fell face forward. So bit of surgery on it yesterday. I've got the top cutting in there and like a midsection cutting, so I hacked the top off. Looks quite nice actually. It's a lot nicer now and it fits in that space much better, but I hacked the top off, so then I split that into two, so you've got a midsection and a top cutting. Just gonna try and root them. And then I'm going to stick them back in the pot and hopefully pad it out more rather than just having one big stem that goes all the way up. That's the plan. Yeah, I was I wasn't upset, but I turned around to Rob, I was like, it just doesn't belong in that room. It just doesn't fit. We haven't got the room for big plants. I've got a bird of paradise just over there, Strelitzia. And yeah, that's had to be cinched in a bit because it was taking over the space. This house is not built for big plants, but Rob insisted that we keep it, so hence the rooting and seeing if I can pad it out rather than have it grow tall, because then I won't be so upset about cutting the top off. But yeah, that's what that's there for. Dear, it was quite exciting yesterday. What else have I been up to in the time? Because you've seen me recently technically, because Behind the Scenes was out on Friday just gone. And Friday last week I should say. And yeah, I updated you quite a bit then. I'm trying to think. No, actually it has been almost a week, so don't know what I'm on about. Anyway, the grass is growing quite nicely now. We have noticed at the top where the sparser sections are that there's actually quite a bit of young shoots coming up, and it's starting to fill out, which is fantastic. However, ever since we planted those grass seeds, there has been not a single drop of rain. So we're not very happy about that. And this week, the forecast is there's no rain again. So, I mean, it's ideal growing conditions because it's really sunny, it's really warm, so it's ideal growing conditions. But we're not here to give the grass a drink. So we're going to hopefully come back to the lawn still looking nice and growing. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Taking that risk. But yeah, we have a lot more plans for sorting the house as well and tidying the house and decorating. So a lot is going to be happening around here, as I think I've stated before. I have also, what else have I done? I can't remember what else I've done. There's just a lot going on. But yeah, I will update you on the holiday. I'll try and put in some photos in next week's video of the holiday because it's going to be a really beautiful setting, and obviously I will be very careful with what I show because my family and Rob have not given me permission to put them out on YouTube. That is their decision, so the photos will most likely be scenery and things like that, but we'll see how we go. I'm so excited. I'm not sure if you can tell. as soon as I finished work on Friday, my entire mood just it left me. The tension and the feelings that I've been having just left me. And yesterday morning, being Saturday, I was all go, and I managed to finish a couple of projects, which I will be showing you. Don't panic, I'm not just going to sit here and waffle at you. And yeah, I even pulled out something that I'm quite excited to show you in my works in progress. So there is a good chunk to show you. So why don't I get stuck in, right? The first section we're going to start with is updates. I don't actually have any updates for you. You already have behind the seams for this month. I know I missed it in March, but behind the seams for this month came out last week. I'll tag it up there just in case you have not seen it, but that is out, so that doesn't need filming technically this month. You have also had the month-end wrap-up. Once again, I will tag that up there, the month-end wrap-up, just in case you haven't seen that either. And as far as the usual scheduler goes, that is all my videos, so that's good. I'm trying to think. I feel like I am missing something, but I don't think I am. I think it's just because I'm trying to pack and make sure that I'm trying to remember everything for packing, that maybe that's why I feel like I'm missing something, because I feel like I'm missing something from packing rather than from what I need to tell you. So that's... oh dear, what is going on? I'm running on energy today. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my tea. Hang on. I am also on a normal Yorkshire tea. Yes, it's delightful. I treat myself to it every now and then, but recently I have been drinking a lot more Yorkshire than my usual decaf green. I don't know why, but it's delightful. I really enjoy it. It does feel like a real treat when I have a Yorkshire tea. Anyway, that brings us on to the next section, which is the works in progress. No, it doesn't. Not the works in progress. It is the finished objects. My apologies. So this week I actually have 3 finished objects to show you. I'm sure all 3 will be obvious, especially once I've shown you. It will probably click and think, well, yeah, we haven't seen the progress on that for a while, or, you know, oh, I thought that was already finished. So I do have 3 to show you. The first one that I'm going to start with is one that I did touch upon in Behind the Seams, and I am very happy to say that my April snow wrap is finished. It is completely finished. So this is the April snow wrap by Andreas Ruthven. If I take it out and show you, here it is. So it's this gorgeous long wrap that, oh, it's so soft actually. So you have the start here, and then it goes all the way across to the same at the other end. So it basically a corner to corner wrap essentially is what the construction of it. Let me just move my tea, else it's going to go in it. But yeah, so I have sewn it, I have cast off, sewn in all the ends, and I have blocked it as well. It finished blocking this morning. It was beautiful and dry, ready for me to show you today, so I'm very happy. But the wrap is by the April Snow Wrap by Andreas Ruthven, and the yarn I used was by Zicami Yarn. Before I get fully into that, I will just give you a bit more of an insight into the shawl or the wrap. So as you can see, it is an assigned pooling project, and what that means is wherever the yarn changes colour, the nature of the stitch changes. So in this case, it goes from a garter stitch into a stockinette stitch. And that just highlights those pops of colour that bit more. It's just a really nice effect. I really have enjoyed doing that. But that is only in the grey and brown section. And then we change to the striping section, which is basically using the 2 skeins of yarn that I had. So I had the assigned pooling yarn, and then I had a beautiful brown that was the contrast colour that went with it. And then you basically go back and forth with both colours, and it creates this really lovely striping effect. There is no assigned pooling in this section. You just knit it all or purl it all depending on what row you're on, but that's what that was. Then the middle section is back to the assigned pooling for a nice block, then back to the striping, and then you finish on this decrease rows. And it was, honestly, it was so much fun. I enjoyed myself immensely with this. So The yarn I used was by Zakami Yarn, and it was their non-superwash. It was fingering weight, and the colourways, this colourway here was called Portable Campfire, and then the lovely brown, the semi-solid brown that was used, was called Cinnamon Stone. And I'm not entirely sure if they still have kits for it, actually, because that's how I found out about this shawl, this wrap. It's how I got the colours, because it was all in a kit for this specific project. And I'm not sure if they still have them, but this was one of them. I was going to go for the black and the white, and they also had like a pink with speckles that also looked really lovely. But this colour, I thought, this is something that I wouldn't ordinarily go for in terms of colour. The grey, yes, perhaps not so much the brown, but then I thought, actually, I think that would be a really, really nice wrap, and I think it would be perfect for fall or autumn for myself. And I'm so happy that I went for this colourway. If I'm totally honest with you, I think it looks fantastic, and I'm really, really pleased with everything about it, to be honest. It was a great, fun project. And I checked my notes yesterday when I was writing up my list for today. I cast this on, I think it was February 2024. So it was very much in need of finishing. I feel like it was February, but yeah, I'm so pleased that it's done. It is a little bit warm to wear it at the minute, but it's so soft. I'm really excited to wear it. So that can now go in my wardrobe, and I can get it ready for when the colder months happen. I'm so happy with it. Oh, I can't stop stroking it. It's just, oh, it's lovely. Right, the next finished object that I have is this, and this is the Adriata vest top by Hayley, and it's lovely. It was such a fun project to make. The process of making it, I really, really enjoyed it. I will be wearing it, obviously, and I have tried it on. It does fit. It's lovely. The only issue that I have is that these shoulders, they do that. There you go. They do that. So it's like I have a weird little puff on the shoulder, which is fine. It's not the aesthetic I was going for. And I know one of you did say that on the photos that you've seen in Hohi's, whether it be her pattern or photos that you've seen regarding this pattern, you have said that the sleeves, these parts do puff up a bit. Mine's quite excessive, which is a little bit not what I was hoping for. But when I pull the whole, when I have it on and I pull the whole thing down, it kind of levels them out a bit. But then obviously when I'm lifting my shoulder and stuff, they stay stuck up. It's okay, it's fine. As I say, it's not what I was expecting from the look of it. But if that's the only issue I have, it's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I'm really happy with it to an extent. I mean, as you can tell, I'm not happy with the puffy bit, but I wonder if it's because of the stiffness of the yarn. Because I used 50% cotton, 50% linen, and it is my first time using these yarns, so I don't have a massive amount of, don't have experience with using them. I'm wondering if there would be a difference if I made it out of superwash, for example. If that would have a different, I mean, it would have a different look. It would have a different drape to it, because it would be more, it would be less up. It would probably drape a little bit more. But all that to say, I do like it. I am going to wear it. I am going to enjoy wearing it. I know that for a fact. And I just love these panels of lacework. I think they are gorgeous. Just checking you can see that, yeah. I think they're really, really lovely, and they really elevate this design, and that lacework continues around the armhole, which is brilliant. But I think, as I say, that's what's creating the elevation on the shoulder, shall we say. I mean, it's fine, it's fine. I know I'm not putting it on to physically show you, but it is there. But I think a bit of wear, and that should maybe settle it down a little bit, or I'll just get used to it and it'll be fine. But all that to say, the process of knitting this I enjoyed immensely. The yarn was quite nice to work with. It didn't split as much as I thought it would, because when you look at the I don't have it with me, do I? No, I don't. When you look at the structure of the yarn, you can see the individual fibres, so it does feel like it would be a splitty yarn, but I didn't have any trouble with it. But that is something to just preface, that, you know, it could split. It was Rowan, oh gosh, what did I use? I think it was Rowan Creative Linen. I think that's what I used for it. And actually, hold on just a minute. I probably should go and get the ball band. Bear with me just a minute. All right, I have the ball band. Here it is. So if I just quickly show you the structure of the yarn, I mean, actually, it's not that splitty, is it? You can see the fibres, but they don't tend to split unless you're sort of towards the end of it. So they do split, but as I say, I mean, the structure of it is pretty good. I was quite impressed with that. I was right. Oh, I should have more faith in myself, shouldn't I? So, Rowan Creative Linen. Again, please excuse the scrunched nature of the label. I tend to fold them up and put them in the centre of the cake, just so that I have a record of what it is. So let me just double check. Yeah, it was 50% linen, 50% cotton, and the colourway that I used was shade, there we go, 00620. There you go. And yeah, as I say, process, loved it. The yarn I enjoyed using. I think I am just not used to yarn that doesn't have any stretch to it. So these bits have stretch because they are, what's the word? They're ribbed. I mean, it does have a little bit of stretch to it, but it's not to the extent that I would expect for a superwash yarn, which is what I'm used to working with. So overall, really happy. I'm glad it's done. I wouldn't mind making another one because I think it's gorgeous. But as I say, I just think that these shoulders, I either need to get used to them, or yeah, I just need to get used to them, don't I really? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to wearing this on my holiday next week. So I will be coming with me. And the next item that I'm going to show you, I could probably wear this with, to be honest. So that is the Adriata vest by Hayley Locatelli. Again, such a fun knit. I do recommend giving it a go, but just be wary of those shoulders and the sizing, because I obviously measured myself completely wrong the first time I measured myself. Don't know how I managed that, but I did. And yeah, I couldn't get it over. I would probably tailor it a little bit, and I would probably have the smaller shoulder part. Then I would do a bigger size for the underarm, because I have quite big shoulders, I suppose. I don't know what it is, but I also like a bigger gap under my arm, because I just don't like things that hug my armpit. I'm just weird like that. But yeah, so I might tailor the sizing a little bit to mix a couple of those sizes and grade them a bit. But yeah, there we are. Adriata by Hayley Locatelli. Check me out. Finishing projects. Right, the final item that I have to show you, finished item. This is probably not going to be a surprise because it featured rather heavily in my behind the scenes episode last week. And these are the lovely Tyra Trousers by, I'm not sure if it's Plone or Pleon patterns, I'm not sure, but I will tag the pattern below anyway. But these are they, completely finished now, including the hemming on the bottom. So I have hemmed them. Took me a while to do, but I have done it. There we are, a nice little turnover hem there. I've left it quite long because I feel like that adds a bit of weight to the bottom of the trouser, and it helps them sit a bit further down, which is nice. And yeah, I also added in, I think you can probably see it better here, stabilising, yeah, just about actually, or is it probably better? It's probably better here. So I've added in stabilising thread. So what that means is I've just stabilised the waistband a little bit so that the chances of it turning over in the channel are minimised. It's not going to happen. And it just distributes the gathers a little bit better as well. So I've added those on the front, the back and the sides, and they are vertical stitching rather than the horizontal along the channel. I thought that would just have been a bit too much for me. So yeah, that's all I've done, and I'm really, really happy with them. They fit lovely, and yeah, my first proper pair of trousers made using a pattern. I have made trousers before, but it's always been pinning to myself, you know, holding up against trousers that I have, cutting out the fabric and then adjusting it as I put them on. I used to make costumes back in the day and I never used to follow patterns. I used to make them up, which I had to because there was nothing in existence to follow that would have made the pattern, the costume, yeah. Anyway, very cryptic, wasn't that? So happy with these. The fabric I'm really, really pleased with. It is a viscose and it's just so floaty and dreamy. It's going to be so light and lovely for summer. And as I say, I think these would go quite nicely with the Adriata vest, possibly. Because as I figured when I did the behind the seams, I realised I did not have a white vest top. I don't know where it's gone. I know I had one at some point, but I don't have one anymore. I do have a nighty, which I can also wear with these. I think that's going to look brilliant with it. But I think the Adriata vest might look quite nice with them as well. So yeah, really happy. Nice new pair of trousers for summer. And I will be making more of those because they were a delight to make. They came together a lot quicker than I thought they would as well. So the more I make them, the quicker they'll come together. Very excited and yeah, really happy. Also, thank you so much to all of you who said that you liked the trousers in behind the seams. I was really touched, so thank you. I was very nervous because I thought the fabric was a little bit too busy because it is really, really busy a fabric. But when I put them on and started wearing them, I thought actually kind of works. So it's okay, it's fine. And plus with them being busy, I didn't have to do any pattern matching or anything like that. Because they're so busy, you can't tell. It's fine. I do have this fabric in navy as well, and the navy one I'm feeling I'm going to make a dress with. So that's going to be fun. But yes, I'm really happy that I have those, and I will probably have worn them by now. Many a times, I imagine. Right, those are all my finished objects for this week. Now we move on to the works in progress, and I do have a couple to show you. I have one that I am extremely excited to show you because I have been enjoying it so much, and I also have one that I should have finished but I still haven't. Hopefully next week it will be finished, but we're going to start with that one, and that is in this Toft bag. It is not a Toft item. I'm sure you know by now what is in this bag. It's in this bag because it's a big project. And this bag is a fantastic size for bigger projects. So whether it be a garment like what I'm about to show you, or whether it be for a blanket, it would work quite well for a blanket. But this garment is made using very thick wool. It's an oversized garment and it's a long garment as well. And it is the lovely Dotty Cardigan by All About Amy. I've said this many a time. I love this pattern so much. I love it. It is a joy to make. There's nothing that I don't feel is too arduous. I think the most difficult thing about this is this sew button band, the collar, because you basically pick up the stitches from one side all the way around to the other, and then you're doing your collar, so knit one, purl one, your ribbed collar. And for starters, picking up the stitches is a challenge in itself, so that is one thing. Stephanie, in her pattern, she does recommend how to do it, and I think she has a video as well showing how to do it. Now, I know one of your lovely selves did ask me if I could show or explain how I do the pickup when I'm picking up stitches. I was supposed to do a video, but because I knew I wanted to do a video, I was putting off actually doing this and getting it finished and getting it to my friend. So what I've done is I've created a mock-up of panels that I will do the pickup for, just to show you. But I believe Stephanie does have a video and it's very good. I think the rule of thumb is it's 3 stitches every 2. Sorry, 3, that doesn't make sense, does it? 3 stitches every 4, and when you're going across, say, the back, like here, you are picking up every stitch along anything that is in line, you know, going in the same direction. When you're going along a side panel, so you're going in a different direction from where you originally knitted, I believe it's 3 stitches every 4. Please correct me in the comments if you believe I am incorrect. That's absolutely fine. But I believe that is the case for this particular pattern, and it could vary full pattern, I suppose. But that, I think, is perhaps the most difficult part on this. The rest of it is just seaming. You've got some, these increases. I always have this issue. Yeah, so you cast on here for the sleeves, and then you knit up for as long as you need, and you've got some increases there as well. So I am trying to think of what I would consider perhaps a challenge on this, and I do think it is this faux button band. It is a lot, because, as I say, it's a lot of stitches on the needle, but really love it. You've got some pockets here which I have stitched on. These were what I did in behind the seams, and the only thing I have left to do now, sewing those ends. As soon as I've done that, I can then gift it to my friend. And yeah, I'm hoping to get that done sooner than later, really. I had a bit of an end sewing in session yesterday, which is why the April Snow Wrap and Adriata are now finished, because that was mostly what I needed to do. Why I didn't do this one, I don't know, because this is more important, but clearly I had a moment. So I think, okay, I don't know whether this is true, but I think it's to do with where I put my project bags. If a project bag is upstairs, I am not going to touch it for love nor money. If a project bag is downstairs, I'm more likely to reach for it. And then if a project is not in a project bag and sitting on the table, like Adriata and April Snow Wrap were, they're going to get priority. I think that's how it works. It's a bit of a psychological thing, so I don't know. Could be. So maybe I just need to leave this out, and I'll get to it, because at the minute it's stored out of sight, and I think that's the issue with it. But yes, that is the beautiful Dotty Cardigan by All About Amy, and the yarn I'm using, when I can find the yarn label, here we go, is Stylecraft Special Chunky. Is that right? Yeah, Stylecraft Special Chunky, and the colourway is Parchment. Do apologise, I'm apparently a little bit on the shaky end today. It's probably all the tea I've been drinking. Oh dear. Anyway, beautiful Dotty Cardigan by All About Amy. I am so close. What am I playing at? I should finish this and get it done. Right, the next item, what have I got? Oh, these are fun. Okay, so these are, I again worked on them in behind the seams, and I had a little issue with them. So these are the basic A-shape shorts by Spectacle Strikke, and in behind the seams, I was trying to get this. So in this piece here, there is a piece of elastic. You can kind of see it. In fact, I think you can see it better on the other side. Yeah, there you go. You can see it at the top here. When I stretch it, you can see the white elastic. So basically, I measured the elastic, and I had it the right size for my waist. And I mean, it looks a bit funky. Yeah, you can tell it looks a bit wavy, because it's almost as if the elastic that I measured was too big for the width of the channel. When you stretch it, or when you hold it like that, it looks perfect. It looks fine. And then it goes over my hips fine. I could not have had the elastic any smaller, because it would not have gone over my hips. So there we are. There we have it. It's fine. It just looks a bit wavy at places. But as I say, when I lay it like that, it's fine. But yeah, so that it might look a little bit odd at times. In behind the seams, I wanted to get the elastic in the channel, because I felt very intimidated by it. It's a new thing for me. I've never put elastic into a knitted garment before. Well, into anything apart from sewing stuff. So anything knitted, I've never ever put elastic in. So that's completely new to me. I was very intimidated, as I say. But it actually worked out really, really well. The only thing I'm concerned about is the measurements, but I mean, I'm learning stuff. This is how I'm taking these shorts. I'm going to be trying them on quite a lot to make sure that they do still fit and that I can get them over me, because if I can't get them over me, there's no point carrying on. But I'm really enjoying the process. I'm learning so much because I have never made anything for my lower half knitted before. So yeah, it's just going to be completely new. And I'm enjoying it, as I say. So what have I done since the last time you saw it? So the last time you saw it was in Behind the Seams, and I'd gone a little bit further than that. I then, if I turn this round actually to show you, this is actually the back of, this is actually the inside of, should have been, the inside of the shorts. What I've actually done is I have turned it round. So the inside is now the outside in terms of join. If I show you the inside, you'll see what I mean. So the inside looks a bit more seamless, but if I stretch the elastic, you can see the elastic a lot more on the inside than you can on, well, on what should have been the outside than you can on what should have been the inside. So I've swapped it round. That's the only change I've made so far. For me, I feel that's going to work a lot better. I don't know why that looks so strange there. Oh no, I know why that looks strange. The short row shaping at the back. So if I show you that, the short row shaping here, and yeah, as you can see, that comes up here. So that just brings the back down, covers a bit more of the back a bit more. So that's going to look great. I'm quite excited. I've not tried them on since I've done the waistband, because as soon as I did the waistband I tried them on and they went over, and now all of this knitting that I've been doing here, I've not tried it on since, so don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I quite like actually having the cast on edge basically as the rim between, the break between the waistband and the actual knitted part. I think it looks quite nice really, compared to, I mean obviously bear in mind this is a purl stitch, this would have just carried on knitting down. But yeah, I did feel that this was just going to show a bit too much of that elastic and that this side showed less. That's why I made the decision I made. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. And as I say, I have done the back, I am doing some increases, and I have added that first white stripe. So the striping will now start to happen throughout. And I think I've just got to keep going until it gets to a certain width. Keep your fingers and toes crossed for me that I have knitted the right size. If I haven't, it's fine. It'll be absolutely fine. I'll just do a different size. It's not a problem. But I have been really enjoying what I've made so far, and I'm pleased with the decision that I made to turn that the other way round. I think it just looks really nice. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. So those are my basic A-shape shorts by Spectacle Streak. Now the yarn I'm using is, let me grab them, quite a summery yarn I hope. It is by Drops and it is their Belle Unicolor yarn. There you go. And the colours I'm using, so the stripes are going to be in this colour, which is colour 1. And then the body and the main yarn is again Belle, Drops Belle, and the colour is number 13. There we are. So those are the yarns that I'm using. The makeup of the yarn, they are 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. So they are actually really soft and nice. And I know one of yourselves did say that you, just to note that the yarn does have a tendency to split. You are correct. Normal knitting, it's not so bad. But when I purled, because I had to do some purling for the short row shaping, when I was purling, it was a bit more difficult. Splitting tends to happen a bit more on the purling for my knitting style, I suppose. But yeah, it does split, but it's not an issue. I'm doing all right with it, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm liking the fabric it is creating. So there you have it. That's where I'm at. And I have knitted in my first ever elasticated waistband. Oh, I'm so excited about that. Oh, yes. Okay, that brings us on to the next work in progress, and this one I'm super excited to show you because this is a paused whip. What was a paused whip, I should say, because it is definitely no longer a paused whip. I made the decision because when I had done the April snow wrap, I thought, right, Now that's done. That was a paused whip. I thought, right, now that's done, I'm going to grab another paused whip and I'm going to work on that. I'm going to bring that into rotation rather than leaving it upstairs in the dumping ground. Bring it down and actually start making a conscious effort to work on it. Glad I did, because I am steaming ahead on it and I'm really happy. I've even sewn in some ends. But let me show you what I am working on. I'm so excited. This is the beautiful Flat Iron Shawl by Tony Lipsey, the one and only Tony Lipsey. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy to have picked this back up. This was where I was when the last time I showed you. As you can see, that was quite a while ago now, because if I bring this closer, you can see I have added in quite a lot extra. Now, there is a slight issue in the fact that my tension is a lot looser than it used to be. So I don't know if you can tell, but this tension here is tighter. The tension below the marker is tighter than the tension above. I don't think there's too much of a difference. Oh no, I think there is, isn't there? Oh, I don't know actually. I'm not sure if there is too much of a difference, but either way, it's fine. It'll be fine. I don't know if you can tell either, but I have started on the second colour. So I have finished with this first colour and I faded here into that second colour. That is why there are loads of ends here. I've sewn in a good chunk of them. I still need to sew in some more, but I have faded into the next colour. Now, the yarn I'm using this is a crochet project, my apologies. I don't know if I said knit, I might have, it's habit, I do apologise. The yarn I'm using is by, let me grab this, it is by, it's not the best label to show you, but if I can do that, there we go. It is by Lockwood Fibres. There you go. The first colour that I use, which is this one, that's all I've got left of that one, that was Wisteria Lilac. It's all merino socks, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon and fingering weight. So that one was Wisteria Lilac. The colour that I'm using at the moment is really not that different from that one. Yeah, in the camera, it doesn't look very different at all. If I hold it back here, you can probably see that it is a little bit more. This one is darker than this one, subtly so. And the one I'm using now is called exactly the same yarn dyer and exactly the same base. It's called Wisteria Purple. That's why there's not a lot of difference going on there. The final yarn that I will fade this colour into is going to be this one. So you can see there's going to be a lot bigger of a difference. It's still going to be fairly subtle, but there's going to be more of a difference. And I believe this one is called, yeah, this one's called Nightshade. Don't know if she still carries these colourways. Possibly not, because I bought them years ago. But I'm just so happy that I have picked this up and that I am working on it. It is really looking like a shawl now rather than not a shawl, but really pleased. When I get to the bottom, there's like an edging to do. So I need to decide or look for a colour that I have in my stash for doing that edging, because I would like to do the edging. I think it would be really nice and it would just finish the shawl off beautifully. But yeah, really happy that I've picked this back up. I don't know what I was playing at not doing it, but yeah, as you can see, done quite a bit more to that. It is surprising, well, it always surprises me how quickly crochet works up compared to knitting. Knitting projects tend to take a lot longer to get this amount of work. It always baffles me, but there you are. That is the Flat Iron Shawl by Tony Lipsey. I'm so pleased that is in rotation now. Oh, I am very pleased with myself. All right, so the next work in progress that I did some work on is in here. You will have seen this if you saw my behind the scenes, but I thought I'll just mention it here just in case you don't watch those. If you prefer to watch the podcasts, why not? Why not? So this is the lovely cross stitch by Innocent Bones. It's not a caterpillar cross stitch. It is in a caterpillar cross stitch bag, but it's not a caterpillar cross stitch project. And that is this. So that's what I've done on it. All I've done is a little bit more in this area here, just to fill out the yellow. This is a tarot card. It is the Star by Innocent Bones. I'm going to hold it back here so you've got an idea. There you go, the Star. As you can see, it is a small project, but it is a full coverage within that small space, if you will. So yeah, and plus the stitches are very, very small, and I'm using 3 threads per stitch, 3 threads for the cross stitches. So, but it's gorgeous. I love this colour palette so much, and yeah, I'm just pleased. I only put 30 minutes into it, and I think that's a nice thing to do, actually. Just maybe put 30 minutes into a cross stitch, just to get them moving, really, because I do have quite a few cross stitches on the go at the minute, and they're not really going anywhere because I'm focusing on other things. Plus my sewing has really started to jump up. I'm trying to use a lot of stash, I'm trying to use a lot of fabric, and yeah, certain things are getting pushed more into a pause pile, which it shouldn't, but it does. All right, the final item that I've been working on is in here. This is a Toft. This is actually a Toft project, and that is my Bargello. So just a quick reminder, that's the first one I made. It is a coaster doing the Bargello technique, and I really enjoyed it. I bought myself a kit. There's 6 coasters that I'll be making from this kit, and then I also have a Christmas version, which are going to be snowflakes. So that's the first one that I made, and just wanted to point out that I have done a nice bit of work on the second one. So as you can see, the colours are in a slightly different place. Same pattern, just changing up where the colours are used, and it's the same for the third one. If I hold this up, you can see those are the coasters, and which one am I working? I'm working on the bottom one here now. There you go, I've done one of those. I'm working on the bottom one, and then I need to do one of those. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it. It's been so much fun learning something new, and yeah, just having a good old go. As I've said before, I can't see myself continuing after I've done these coasters. I may do some placemats to go with them, but other than that, I can't really see an application where I would continue to do it, despite the fact that I really enjoy doing it. So I might try and figure out a way to continue doing it. But yeah, it's just a nice, relaxing craft, as are all our crafts, really. I do find them quite relaxing. Those are all of the works in progress that I've been working on in the last week. That now brings us to cast-ons, and I do have a cast-on for you. This one I cast on a couple of days ago, actually, and I had to force myself to put it down. It has been a joy to work on, really has, but I wanted to cast it on and get it started so that I could take it away with me on my holiday, and I could just work on it and enjoy, really. That's the whole idea of casting something on for a holiday. But I don't want to put it down. I've been loving it. So you will have seen me winding the yarn. Well, not winding, so to speak, but you will have seen in behind the scenes that I had wound the yarn. You will also have seen in my month-end wrap-up that it was a plan, and that is the Jon Shawl by Joanna Herriot of Twin Set and Pearl. The yarn is by Bird Street Yarn. This pattern was designed in collaboration with Bird Street Yarn. Bird Street Yarns, they did a club subscription, and it was called Rewind. Was it Rewind? Oh my gosh, what was it called? I'm having issues remembering. Reimagined, there we go. I knew it was something. Reimagined set. Now, the one that I got was the Do You Think You Saw Us? So it's this fantastic, lovely mix of greens, teals, there's pinks, there's yellow. Lovely, love it so much. And I got, as I say, the Reimagined set. So what the Reimagined set is that you have the variegated skein, and then you have, oh, let me slacken. As you can tell, I'm using one of the colours at the minute. There we go. It basically breaks up the colour, the variegated skein, into its core colours, and you get 5 20-gram minis of the said colours. Now, as you can see, it is a striping shawl. So the idea is you've got your main colour and you're striping the 20 gram minis. So let's show you what I've got so far. Oh, I need to slacken the yarn once again. Hang on. So, are you ready? Here is what I've got so far. Oh, let's get rid of that. It's the wrong way around. Oh my gosh, this is like the worst reveal ever. Ta-da! Look at me mess with something. There we go. Look at that. I am so happy with this. So at one point I was toying with the idea of, instead of using the variegated skein as the main skein, using a very pale grey as the main skein so that these colours would stand out more, the individual colours. But actually I'm really happy that I ignored that idea that I had and I went with the actual colours. So the Do You Think Thesaurus variegated and the individual colours. Now, some of the colours are a bit lost. So for example, this colour here, which is here, it gets a bit lost, but I think that's fine. I think it just looks brilliant. The way the fabric sits is fantastic. That's the way the stitches are organised, if you will. It creates this lovely, is it concertina effect? It's not quite ribbing, but it has almost a delayed ribbing effect. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's a very 3D visual fabric and I think it's fantastic and it works so well with these stripes. I'm so happy with it. I have been enjoying every minute of it, and as I said, I don't want to put it down. I just want to keep knitting it. Doesn't that look great? So as I say, I am so happy that I stuck with the original plan of using the variegated skein with those colours, because it just, I think it looks great. So really happy, really enjoying it. It's a really, really fun pattern to work up. Initially I was thinking it might be a little bit much with getting that 3D effect, that 3D funky effect. I initially thought, oh, that's not going to be fun to knit, but actually it is, and it settles into your mind quite quickly as well. So it's one of those that you can pretty much put down the pattern and then just knit away. But oh, I love it. So I'm going to really enjoy myself, or I will have really enjoyed myself this week knitting on this and just enjoying the process. This is very much a process and product knit. I can tell immediately. It is wonderful. There we go. It is wonderful. So yeah, I do have a lot of ends to sew in. So that is another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take some scissors with me and some needles, sewing needles, so that I can actually get those ends sewn in a good fashion and not have a delay on those. So that is the Jon Shawl, my current process with it. Oh, love it. Okay, so that is that. My apologies, everyone. I had to refilm this part because I kept tripping over my words and I couldn't make head nor tail of what I was trying to say. So how I expected yourselves to, I've no idea. So let's try again. Now we are going to jump into acquisitions. I don't have anything to physically show you at this point in time. I do have some orders coming in, and I have an order that I really want to place. So for those of you who don't know, Beth from Beehive Yarns, she does these wonderful boxes of yarn and books. So I think it's every quarter. So she does a box curated with a book, and it's the Wordsworth edition books. They're really nice. I haven't got one down here to show you, but they're beautiful covers of these books. They're classics. And I think, what was last month's? Last quarter was Secret Garden. And we've had, I was about to say Mansfield Park then. We've not had Mansfield Park. Oh dear, I've got Jane Austen on the brain. I do apologise. But yes, they're classic books, beautiful covers. And Beth dyes the yarn to go with the book, essentially. So massive tick in my book. Pun intended, not intended, but you know. Basically, I love books and I would quite like these editions of the classic books in my collection. And the fact that you get some yarn and some extra treats along with that, perfect. Beth, you have ticked all my boxes. It's wonderful. So I will definitely be getting the next one, which she announced that will be coming out, I think either the week we've just had. I think it's going to get very confusing because of the time bending nature of when I filmed and when you're seeing this, but I think, don't hold me to it, but I think the pre-order may be out. If not, it will be this weekend, because she did announce last week that that would be happening. So I'm really excited, because I always feel like I've missed it, and I'm always checking her Instagram just to double check that I haven't missed the announcement of the pre-order. So yes, that is coming, and I will be pre-ordering that one, because I've got every single one apart from the first one, which was Anne of Green Gables. I did go out and purchase the book, but I was gutted that I didn't buy the box. So I will not miss another. No way, not a chance. Anyway, that is something that I'm going to be ordering and that will be coming at some point. I do have the Innocent Bones subscription. Mood is what she calls it. I do have that coming. I've only subscribed to that one. I have since cancelled the subscription. The only reason I did for that one was because I was just curious. I'm tripping over my words once again. Let me have a sip of tea. Hang on. Oh my goodness. I'm just too excited. That's the issue. And I'm talking too quick because my brain is going a million miles an hour and my lips can't keep up. Anyway, I have pre-ordered that. That should be coming soon, I think. And as I say, I've only ordered that one because I do have a lot of cross stitches either on the hoop. Is that how you say it? I do have a lot of cross stitches on the hoop at this point in time, and I do have a couple waiting to go on the hoop. So yeah, I thought I'll just try the one and we'll go see how I feel from there. I also have a So Hayley Jane. Now this is sad. This is very sad. Sad news. I do have the May So Hayley Jane box coming. I resubscribed to it because I have been using a lot of my fabric lately. I've been really getting back into my sewing, and I loved it when I subscribed to the So Hayley Jane box. It's such a fantastic box. You get your fabric, you get about, I think it's 2.5 meters of your main fabric, then you get about a meter of another fabric. I can't remember what she calls it. It's not complimentary, it's I've completely forgot the name of it, but you get another supplementary, that's it, supplementary fabric, and then you get lots of goodies, sewing goodies in the box, and a little sweet treat as well. It was a box and a really good magazine. Really enjoyed that magazine. So I thought, I'm going to resubscribe. I'm really looking forward to it. So this box, the May box, is coming. However, very sad news, because yesterday being the 10th of May, Hayley came onto Instagram and was it the 10th of May? It might have been Friday actually. I think it might have been Friday the 9th of May. She announced that May's So Hayley Jane box is the last box that she will ever do, which makes me really sad because in my opinion, it's the best sewing subscription box on the market at the minute. I mean, I've not tried any others, but it just fills me with joy, those boxes. And so I was so excited to resubscribe and start getting them again. But sadly, Hayley has had to make the hard decision of no longer doing the box. Prices are rising all over the place, and unfortunately small businesses are really starting to feel the effects of that, and Hayley unfortunately is one of those small businesses who is feeling the effects. So I'm really sad for her. I'm sad for those of us who have enjoyed her boxes over the years, because they are a joy to have. But I understand the decision, and gosh, what a hard decision. I can't imagine. It's just mind-blowing. But she does have another subscription going, which is her Thready Set Go. It is a forum where she hosts lives. You can subscribe to a free membership or a paid membership. The paid membership, you get extra sew-alongs and things like that, and tutorials. Hayley's tutorials are amazing, so please check out her YouTube channel. I will link her below. Please check her out. She is wonderful and she's a joy to listen to. She is very knowledgeable in all things sewing. Fantastic lady. So I do encourage you all to support her in any way you can. I know I will be supporting in Thready Set Go. I'm a very quiet Ready, Set, Go subscriber, but I am there. And I'm definitely making it my intention to have the paid membership going forward as well. Again, to support a small business as best I can. I am gutted for Hayley in regards to the fact that she has had to cease the boxes, and I do wish her all the best in her future endeavours, because yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough old world out there. So yeah, it's sad news, but I am excited to get the box. I also made use of the 40% discount that she gave on her outlet store. So I have some fabric and one of the past boxes coming. So I am very excited to receive those. But again, it's excitement clouded by sadness, because yeah, it was such a fantastic subscription. So it's really sad to hear that that decision has had to be made. But yeah, really hoping the best for her going forward. Anyway, those are the things that are coming, and also just a little note to help support small businesses where we can. Anyway, I have been waffling for far too long right now, so I am going to leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it really does mean the absolute world to me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.